Hello guys, and welcome to a new Steel Division video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you a 3 versus 3 on Mont Ormel, and in this one I'm going to be using the 352nd Infantry Division. I'm playing in a random game with Hellmarch, who's also using a 352nd Infantry, and Marduk, who's going to be using the 17th SS Panzer Grenadier. We're playing against a 6th Airborne, 2nd Infantry, and 2nd Armoured Divisions, so should be a pretty fun one. Let's just switch this to my point of view. Like I said, this was a completely random game that I just happened to join and decided to play out. So in this one, I'm going to be starting with a few AT guns, and I was generally going to go for the same sort of strategy as I used in the previous video, where I sort of try and take some ground but remain relatively defensive, and then try and do some sort of like layered infantry pushes where I could. It didn't really work out so well in this game, but either way, I still think there's a lot to talk about, a lot to look over across the map, and it's another really nice introductory video to the 352nd Infantry. So that's why I decided to show you this one, and it's also interesting to see it on one of the older maps now. I'm just going to speed it up and we can see that all of the units that I put down at the start of the game. I am going to be bringing in quite a few of my machine guns, I think all 3, just to place around the defensive points at the top of the hill. So, for instance, this area, just above the ridge, same here, and I was just going to defend best I could in those positions, and then try and make ground elsewhere. I've got a couple of Panzerjägers here. They're going to be moving across the open, hopefully popping some enemy Stuarts or Tetrarchs. That's what I was looking for. And I've got the AT guns as well, so plenty of AT presence available alongside infantry. I've got the generic sort of infantry and command infantry combos going on. I've got these 2 command infantry, one with each of the machine guns. So this time round, instead of using like normal infantry, I'm using the machine guns. But that's just to provide like a front line here to pin down any infantry and vehicles that try and move across in the open. Also, this one allows me to buff up both the AT gun and the machine gun at the same time if I put it into the middle building, so that's what I had planned. And you can already see that we are making quite a lot of ground, 51% in our favour already. That's not obviously an amazing amount, but definitely pushing the front line in the centre at the moment. So I've brought up all my troops, they're just chilling. I've got a grenadier squad here, I've got the MG42 moving into that building. It looks like Hellmarch had the same idea. Moving my Kubel MG over to the left side. I've just got a Fusilier squad here. That's there because not only does it provide recon across the field, but it also has the AT capability for anything rushing down the road. We'll be able to just take that out quickly. I'm going to be bringing in a Befehl Panzer III, and over on the left side, you can see Marduk is already engaging with Alicant. Has got line of sight onto this mortar. Bit of a mistake by the enemy. Should never really have your mortars in direct line of sight. As soon as that happens, you want to be getting that out of the way, not trying to engage an AT gun. So it looks like he is going to be losing that there, and that will make Marduk's life a lot easier on the left flank. So yeah, I've made a lot of ground. Hellmarch is going to be pushed really fast, or really hard, sorry. And that's actually Hellmarch, I just realised, not Hellmarch. So there is some airborne troops coming up onto the ridge there that he is going to have to be a little bit worried about. He's got the Osttruppen there. Bringing over my MG42 though, I'm going to be occupying this building so that I can cover off down the road for anything that decides to push to the left. Over on the right side, manages to make an AB Paras squad surrender as they come up to his Osttruppen, so not entirely sure how he managed that, but there we go. And now I'm bringing up some more troops. These guys are going to be occupying the tree line in the centre, because I actually thought that Marduk would kind of push the centre at the start. But it turns out that he didn't, and therefore I was tasked with holding that position. Over on the right side, VulcanHDGaming versus a Stuart, is that? Or is that a Tetrarch? Tetrarch. Tetrarch is going to be winning that engagement for now. Over on the left, I'm actually going to be losing one of my Panzerjägers to an AT gun here. Trying to get my Fusiliers up, able to engage that. But unfortunately, before I can get into line of sight with the Fusiliers, I actually lose my second Panzerjäger. I lost 2 tanks there, and not a very good start for me at all. Ideally, my recon should have spotted that sooner, but that was actually a pretty nice place for that AT gun. Do repay the favour by killing it off afterwards, but a bit too late. Now we're going to be seeing the second infantry fella come and try and hit me here. He's using the Ranger mortars to mortar my AT gun. Pack 38 taking a lot of hits. My Fusilier squad also getting damaged pretty hard. AB Paras are going to be taken out there by Hellmarch's MG42, and he's still engaging the AB Paras and the AB leader in the middle of the map. Just about managed to get the Pack 38 out of there. Going to leave the Fusiliers in position to provide me with the recon, and that should allow me to see if any infantry tries to run down like they did before with the Marauders. Got my Grenadiers into position in the tree line here, and alongside the Fusiliers they're all 2-star veterancy, so I should be able to make some ground. That's what I'm kind of hoping for there. How much is MG42 in a nice position to engage some of these Ranger Marauders as they come across the open, but as soon as they reveal themselves, the Ranger mortar is going to be opening up. 3-star mortars, very fast rate of fire. My MG42 is going to be able to open up onto this M1 gun, which is great. And my Fusiliers are taking on the 30 cal Jeep. Meanwhile, on the right side, that Kubel MG is going to go down to the airborne troops, but how much is basically reinforcing himself with Grenadiers and a Grenadier there. Maintaining ground on the right side only just. If they try and push out this town, they are going to get pinned down by the MG42, so that's the reason why that the enemy probably wasn't pushing there. Meanwhile, just here, Grenadiers have reached the road which goes down the left side, so got to be careful crossing there because that does leave us exposed for just a little while, and if there's an MG or something, then we will be left in a bad spot. So now this AT gun's gone, I can engage with my Panzer III. Going to unload my 120mm mortar here. I can get that into a decent position to help out the Panzer III. MG42 is going to pin down these AB Paras as they approach. And I am going to get plenty of free kills onto that squad. Over on this right side, Ostrupen trying to push into the town. So how much? Just trying to make back the ground on the right side. It's currently 50-50. We did make 85 points up early, and because Marduk is actually so concentrated on this left side, he definitely has the potential to push very far. However, what's happening now is I'm bumping into another AT gun. And what can I do? I want to get this Panzer III out of there, of course, so all I can think about doing is smoking it off. So I'm just going to smoke my Panzer III. Stop that from being hit, and then what I'm going to do is put another smoke round on top of where I saw the AT gun, so that when my Panzer III falls back, the AT gun still can't fire. It does manage to get one shot off and misses, thank God, which allows my Panzer III to get out of there. M8 Spahi coming up the road does reveal my Fusiliers to the 30 cal machine gun there. Going to be forcing me to run away with the Fusiliers. Mosquito Pathfinder coming down on top of my MG42 squad. Not too much I can do about that. I try and run them away, but they do get pinned down and just burned to death. Pathfinders are now trying to approach the Aufklärer and the Panzerjäger 35. If you can pin those down, then you can very easily get the surrender there. Over on the left side, engaging with the infantry, smoking off against the Greyhounds so they can continue the push on this side. But those Pathfinders do eventually surrender to the Panzerjäger. And now the enemy is making a push up this hill. They're making use of what looks like Ranger supports and the Ranger Marauders. I do have these Fusiliers here now, since they were falling back from the tree line there. But this Befehl Panzer III actually finishes off the Marauders, so that was good. I've actually taken the opportunity to move forwards this machine gun from this compound, and that's actually going to allow it to open up onto this AT gun as it comes in front of the smoke. I've got my Grenadiers quite far up, so definitely making some ground on that side. But I've just got to be careful and make sure that I'm defending this properly, and currently I'm using another 120mm mortar to pin down these men. And as soon as my Grenadiers are no longer pinned down, what will happen is I will hopefully make these guys surrender. And there goes one squad, trying to make the second squad surrender, but my Grenadiers get pinned down again, so that Ranger leader is just going to run away this time. We've managed to prevent the infantry push up the hill here, which was great. If that had worked out, then it would have been a very hard time pushing into this compound again. Now you can see I'm bringing up my own Panzerjäger. I actually quite like these for anti-infantry, just because they do have that nice rate of fire. Here you can see the 120mm mortar now going for the 3-star MG gun. Plenty of units coming down this road. My Fusiliers spotting those for me. Or what's left of them. The Fusilier, I should say. Black Villing here hitting the Spitfire Mark 9 hard on the left side, and is actually going to shoot that down, which was really, really good from Marduk. These Black Villings definitely can do a lot of damage. You can see this second Spitfire again taking damage from the Flak Villings. And another one goes down. So AA really doing a good job on that left side. These Flak Villings, extremely fierce AA units, if allowed to be on target for a long time. Now my Panzerjäger does go down here. I believe it got picked off by this M1 gun. I think it just had the line of sight and then retreated. Really, really annoying that that managed to die. But either way, you can still see here that they are trying to push up with this Ranger support squad. Still pinned down though, thanks to my artillery. And you can see back here the Ranger mortars and the 81mm mortar. And what I have done is actually brought up an SK-18, and this is quite simply just counter battery. So using that to try and take out the AT guns and the enemy mortars here to stop them from oppressing my positions. So this was very much a more slow game than I'm usually used to playing. I like to make my penetrate pushes through the enemy lines at the beginning of the game and like create a big old spearhead through the enemy lines, but in this game didn't really get the opportunity to. Here you can see I'm trying to move on with some of my infantry. They do though run into the combination of units here, the Stuart, the M8 Spy, and they just get killed instantly. And that was that's probably my bad. I probably shouldn't have let that happen. Definitely could have gone left instead of right. Just got a bit greedy there, trying to push on, and if I'd had Panzerfaust maybe it would have worked out, but generally just shouldn't have moved them and just kept the front line pushed up on that side. See, I am bringing up a Flak 88 being wheeled to the front line, and I'm basically deciding to do what I did last time, and that is create a really nice defensive line against the Air Force, because we are playing against the 6th Airborne Division on the right side, so it's going to be a big chance that we're going to be dealing with a lot of aircraft throughout the game. So Flak 88 seemed like the wise choice. I've got the SK-18 in place to hit the enemy mortars hard. And you can see I've still got the SK-18 coming in with the shot there. MG42 also managed to get the shots onto the Ranger mortar here, managing to pin that down. I moved that out of the building towards the tree line here, and you can see he's having a great time in cover, pinning down and killing off that mortar, which was great. Mortar fire is going to be coming back onto my MG42, but it's only revealing more positions for my SK-18s to hit, so just letting that continue to fire from the road. And I've got some reinforcing infantry actually coming up to the forest again, because last thing I want is my AT gun to be overrun and the Panzer III. Currently this combination is stopping them from pushing up with the Greyhound and the Stuart, but I really need the infantry as well, and now that I'm in phase B I can get grenadiers with the Panzerfaust this time, so those light vehicles shouldn't be a problem. Also, they're now Marduk's problem, as the half-track and the Spey come over and take on his IG-33. The IG-33 does get a direct hit onto the M5A1, but 27 AP or HE power is apparently not going to be enough. In the centre, as a Ranger support squad comes up, it does actually bump into a lot of fire from my Grenadiers and Fusiliers. Fusiliers aren't in range to use their AT weapon onto these Sherman suits, so I'm going to just jump them out quick and jump them back in so they remain hidden. Then the Flak 88 is going to just bail out one of the M4A1s. It's got line of sight onto the second M4A1, and boom, Flak 88 doing its job. Also quickly fires at the Mosquito as it comes over. There goes another Panzerjäger there, gets bombed out. Hellmarch does bring in the ME-109 with a 15 HE bomb and takes out the AT gun as well. I finish off the bailed out Sherman so that it pushes the front line back towards them. So now my Panzer III engaging the M5A1 Stuart. Lovely Nebelwerfer strike from Marduk does stun that Stuart for me. And now I've got some Ersatztruppen leading the way, and then my Grenadiers are following up. That's the plan. Also got some more reinforcing infantry coming across the front line. Just getting more Ersatztruppen into position, filling up all of the houses that aren't occupied, just so that if they do push onto me with more infantry, I'm in a great position to defend. So, as you can see here, the Ersatztruppen jumping into all of the buildings. I'm jumping into these buildings as well, and yes, they're slightly behind my front line, but to me, it's worth having them there. There's some Sappeurs surrendered there after being hit by the Nebelwerfer. They actually bump into my Ersatz and then surrender after that, so that was good. Got these Ersatz on the right side pushing forwards as well. And the Grenadiers, of course, following up. Ideally, I would have had another command infantry here, but I don't think I had any left on my deck, since I had used them alongside the MG42, and it was definitely doing work. Unfortunately, the Grenadier does get killed off eventually by the enemy artillery. I actually have a second SK-18 on the field now, and you can see they are going to be opening up to help deal with the enemy mortars there. So there's the M5A1, that's going to be engaging with my Panzer III, but the Panzer III, after missing 1,000,000 shots, finally hits that one, and the Stuart is dead, so that's helpful. You see, I haven't actually unloaded these Ersatz. What I probably should have done is selected them as they come out of spawn and shift-clicked to unload, so that when they got to their position they unloaded, but it's easy to forget, and honestly it doesn't really matter, because these Ersatztruppen aren't really going to do too much. Do manage to get the howitzer kill there with my SK-18, so that was really nice, and now I've got the artillery coming in onto all of this infantry, making them fall back immediately. That was really, really nice. SK-18 definitely doing tons of morale damage and really helping me defend this front line. And I am slowly creeping forwards, as you can see, like this move of the MG42, just like gain ground here, and I'm slowly making ground in the forest as well. So just over halfway on the left side of things. On the right side, generally keeping it 50-50. Also using my Ersatztruppen to help out Hellmarch control the airborne. Now I'm actually bringing up a munitions truck now to resupply the 120mm mortar. Enemy artillery is coming in onto my flak 88 there. I am going to fall it back just to avoid it being hit by an airstrike. Thunderbolt is going to come in onto Hellmarch's ME-109. The ME-109 did take out, I believe, the enemy mortars. Does fly directly over Hellmarch's AA and does get hit pretty hard. And what I'm going to do is bring in an ME-109 to try and pick up that kill as it retreats. But what ends up happening is the Thunderbolt manages to fly out of range, so it's too fast basically. So instead I'm moving it over to the right to try and take out this Mosquito. Mosquito's also very fast. And what I'm going to do is find out they have a large amount of AA, and my ME-109 is going to get shot down. Bit of a fail on my part. Really shouldn't have let that die so easy. Over on this left side, some reinforcing infantry again. Haven't unloaded it yet. Kind of forgot about it for a little while because I was so focused on this right side working with these Ersatztruppen and trying to stem the tide of the airborne. Got the long-range artillery still coming in. It was pretty much constant throughout this game. I was using those SK-18s to provide that long-range artillery fire for so long. And I just think these things just look so cool. They're 4,000 meter range. Really, really nice units. In this game I was just relying on them so much. Here we can see an 81mm mortar coming very close to the front line. I'm pretty sure this was a mistake. It probably ran out of ammunition, had a target, and then ended up running towards it, because that's what they tend to do. I'm not entirely sure why, but it's just how they're programmed. It's like when a mortar runs out of ammunition, or any artillery piece, it just starts moving towards its target instead of just not firing, which is very odd. But either way, we've got the infantry coming to reinforce this little section of forest here. We need to get rid of that incursion, and as you can see, that is like an AB Paras squad, I believe. Yeah, some AB Paras and Pathfinders there. Although at this point I couldn't really see the Pathfinders. Plenty of off-map artillery though. Hawk is using these Willys OP. That's a 381mm naval battery, and the AOP carrier with the 203mm artillery. And that's going to hit my Grenadiers pretty hard, and the Pioneer Führer here, which I just brought in. Really, really irritating that my Pioneer Führer is going to go down there, because otherwise I would have had these 2-star Grenadiers perfect for dealing with the AB Paras, and also they wouldn't be able to force any of this to surrender, because when a command unit is nearby, units can't surrender. Just a little tip there if you guys didn't know. Rocket strike going to be coming in from this P38 onto the Flak 88. On this side, the AB Para is going to be pinned down, and that is going to break that frontline push into our lands. So we are gaining the +1 at the moment. We've obviously gained a little bit of ground on this left side, and that's really helping us out at the moment. My infantry, as it was pushing up over here, was hit by a bomber. And as you can see, the remnants of that is 2 Ersatztruppen and 1 Grenadiers. But I have a couple extra Grenadiers here behind, waiting for that to happen, so they can move up and take advantage now of that bomber not being available. Moving forward is the Kubel MG to try and take on the 76mm M5 gun, but just leaving that to the MG42 since the 57mm gun opens up. Grenadiers were going to make the AB Para surrender, but they're going to be hit by an off-map artillery strike. And things just slowing down, really, really slowing down. Grenadiers aren't engaging the air landing here when they probably should have been. There's a little bit of a mistake on my part, but you're still using the artillery on this side, the 120mm mortar now being used to take out that AT gun. And going to fall back these Grenadiers before the AB Paras come back and make my Grenadiers surrender. These Grenadiers get hit pretty hard, but I'm just going to keep them pinned down and in cover until they take cover again. And this 76mm AT gun, I don't think the American player realised this was happening, because my MG42 is just having a field day taking that out. Yes, that Ersatztruppen did make quite a lot of ground here. Grenadiers still pushing up now. We are going to see the P38 come in, but I've now got 2 Black 88s on the field. Brought up a second one just to assist. artillery going to be coming in from Hellmarch's Nebelwerfers onto this forest to help get rid of some more of the enemy units there. We are going to be finding these rifles as they come over the ridge, and they're going to get hit by all sorts of MGs, especially from these SD KFZ7s with the machine guns on them as well. 7 HE power there. These are the things that carry around your Flak 88s, and they can be very useful for suppressing infantry. Got Focke-Wulf 190 in the sky. You can see that I'm going to be engaging this P-38 Lightning. That is going to be able to get the bombs off onto the Grenadiers, unfortunately, and blow them up, but I'm going to be repaying that kill very quickly with the 2 Focke-Wulf 190s. Got both my flaks available, so they can help stun the enemy Thunderbolt as it comes for the kill onto my FW-190. You can see one shot there, some AA from the right side, going to be forcing that to fall back, and Tempest and the Mosquito not going to be able to do anything either. But this Mosquito, again, coming in with more bombs, this time onto this infantry, and goodbye to those Grenadiers and Erzählstruppen. So, Marduk's trying to make a push on this left side, combination of Befehlpanzer, Stug 3s, and some AA, just to try and make some ground here. He's also got plenty of Nebelwerfers, as you can see, all this infantry and AT guns and so on. Just trying to make a concentrated push on this left side, and it's working out quite well for him at the moment. I've made a lot of ground in the middle as well with these infantry and so on. Now they have Panzerfaust, can clean up some of the like vehicles if I need to. So just got to maintain my ground here, which I'm continuing to do with the help of the SK-18. You can see I've had to move back this ammunition truck to resupply the SK-18 there and allow it to continue firing. Grenadiers are continuing the engagement over the open here onto the enemy infantry. Now, ideally, my opponent probably should have been using smoke to cover his infantry as it advanced, because if these Ranger support squads and so on could have got close to my Grenadiers, I reckon they would have done a lot of damage. But because he didn't really support them properly, he was trying to use mortars, but he just wasn't using the smoke on them. And it basically meant that I was cutting them down, and it was giving me plenty of time to spot them and destroy them with my artillery. So here, Flak 88 is going to be killing off an M10 as it comes over the ridge. And yeah, these Flak 88s really help me out throughout this game, and you can see I'm just hovering around with some Air Force here, trying to bait out the enemy planes, or if any planes do arrive, then basically I can shoot them down. So for example, this P-38 coming in, I can literally just latch onto that, and the Flak 88s are just going to make it instantly fall back. So as soon as it does, there we go, instantly on the back of it, and hopefully going to be able to shoot it down. The F-109 trying to do work there. Eventually shoots down the P-38. However, P-47 Thunderbolt going to be coming in. Bit of a missed time on my opponent's part, but since my ME-109 is so far from home, it does have a good chance to swing back in and get a run onto the ME-109. However, the F-109 does just about get out of there, and well, look at this P-47 flying over all of that AA, going to get shot down. It actually worked out very well in our favour. Erzählstruppen were pushed forwards here to discover the enemy troops, just using the Panzer III now in conjunction with all of this infantry to make some ground. Got the SK-18 still pinning down the infantry at long range, and I've also got the left SK-18 targeting the howitzers at max range, so that's stopping them from firing. Managed to get my Grenadiers over into the cover on the right side here, which again is making us loads of ground on the left side. 53% in our favour, definitely making a large difference now. My MG and Grenadier, MG on the carrier there, going to be killing off that infantry squad and making a massive dent in the front line. Infantry again coming up the hill. Rifles leader is going to be the target of the majority of my fire. Let's try and take that out, and then we can focus down the rifles. Focke-Wulf 190 is going to be finishing off a Typhoon. Really nice kill. And as the Tempest comes over the AA, well, that's going to be forced to fall back, and so am I, as I fly over their AA. So I've got to be very careful with AA these days, because they can actually kill your planes very quickly if you fly directly over the top of them, which I guess kind of makes sense. Like, AA being a lot more lethal does actually make it worth their costs, because it used to be like a flak filling at 70 points was never worth the cost, but now you can see like these flak 88s just making these guys instantly fall back, and then if they fly over like AA for too long, then you know they're just going to get shot down. This Tempest, pretty lucky there. Does take a lot of shots from the flak 88s and also from the SD KFZ-72. Mosquito coming in with bombs though onto the flak 88 on the right, and this is the issue with bringing in sole flak 88s, because they can be the target of bombers like that. This tech truck is going to be moving forwards and is going to take out my vehicle there with the MG gun on it. Grenadier is pinned down currently. Trying to get my... The reason this flak 88 isn't firing, by the way, is because it's not in line of sight. So just moving that into line of sight to take that out. On this left side, Panzer III is making a breakthrough towards the howitzer. And I've also got my Grenadier here as well. Head truck CS going to be blown up by the flak 88, so that was good. But now the howitzer going to actually turn around and start firing at my Panzer III. Got to be a bit careful about this, because the howitzer can do quite a significant amount of damage with the HE rounds, especially into like the side armor of the Panzer III. Potential to blow that up. So got to be pretty careful. Obviously going to affect the morale quite heavily as well. So instead what I'm going to do, bring across the Grenadiers, just defend against the enemy half-tracks coming down the road, and hopefully everything will be alright. Bringing up another munition truck here. That's going to resupply this flak 41, because currently that has no HE rounds left. You see that I have used up a lot of the ammunition on this one with the SK-18s. Over here we are going to see enemy rifles get destroyed in their trucks, but as the majority of these forces get on target, well, as that's trooper not going to last too long, and these Grenadiers certainly under fire, that's for sure. Now, since a lot of these guys are pinned down thanks to the Panzer III, I thought I might be cheeky and try and fast move down the road here to pick off the rifles leader. However, I didn't really count on them not being pinned down by the time I got there. And what's going to happen is I'm hit by the howitzer, I'm hit by the bazooka from the rifles leader, and my Panzer III is just falling back here until it eventually gets blown up. Also, there was two M10s flanking other way anyway, so I probably would have died nonetheless. But with all this occurring, well, just got to bring up some reinforcing infantry to cover off the left. Pack 38 is going to be engaging the M10 tank destroyers in the centre. That's got plenty of chances to take out one of those M10s, and boom, there goes one. Going to have shot onto the second, and boom goes the second. Actually quite lucky to hit two in a row like that. So here you can see that my Grenadiers are moving forward, so I was trying to make as much ground as I could on this side. As you can see, the front line is pushing quite a lot, so I'm just going to run these Grenadiers down here. I'm going to let the Grenadier here just engage that with its machine gun. And then if my Grenadier here gets close, well, what they can do is just engage with their like SMGs and hopefully take that out. That is actually worth quite a lot. It's worth 160 points if I do kill it. At this point I probably should have noticed that my Grenadiers were here and actually used them to use their machine gun, because it would have obviously made that surrender, but either way, doesn't particularly matter at this point, as it's all about territory, not kills, and we're running the 57% territory lead. There is a lot of airborne troops still in this little pocket that we were worried about, but we've got it covered off by the flak 88 on my side, and over on the right side, well, how much has Panzerjäger here and some Stoss troop and these Flammenwerfer. These guys can kill off an entire unit on their own. Grenadiers are in range to hit the Willys OP. This munition truck didn't actually end up close enough to resupply the Flak 41, so make sure you don't make that a mistake, because now this Flak 88 is completely out of commission in terms of firing at enemy aircraft, because I just didn't move the munitions truck close enough. And now I'm focusing mostly on the left side. I actually brought up my own Jagdpanther now, as you can see. And Hellmarch on the right side also brought up a Jagdpanther to protect the road. Not entirely sure or convinced that was the best choice, because as you can see, when the enemy gets very close here, he can just unload those, and if they have Pierts, he could literally just Rambo towards the Jagdpanther and boom, 300 points lost just like that. Ideally, the Jagdpanther should have been on the road and able to fire the whole way up, but in that case, he let the infantry get way too close. So SK-18s, this one's out of ammunition, and this one I just wasn't using at the moment. The idea was that I was going to resupply this Flak 41 and then move back and resupply the SK-18, but since I was so focused on the left side of the map at this point with the STOS troop, just trying to push up as much as I can, and look at how well Marduk's done. The concentration of his forces here is actually insane. Definitely could have been continuing to move forwards these Panzergrenadier, although they're basically providing veterancy for his Nebelwerfers and stuff at the moment, so that's actually a pretty decent choice. However, this Pack 40 definitely could have moved up maybe the Speertroop. Can't really fault his play though, as he definitely has made a lot of ground for our team, and I've still made some ground in the middle because of it. So the main reason that I've been able to push in this tree line is because there has been so much pressure on the left, and the opponent has been forced to defend that side. You can see the amount of AA that he has deletes that aircraft as it comes in. Jagdpanther is engaging enemy rifles across the field here with the help of this MG42. This MG42 was alive for the entire game, still providing issues for the enemy. And now I've got my SOS troop to help clear up the air landing here with the help of my ME-109s and FW-190s. To enemy Tempest coming in, going to get blown out in the sky by Flak 88s. There is still this infantry squad here. It's going to be engaging onto my SOS troop, but going to be harassing those again with the Focke-Wulf 190s and allowing my SOS troop to run on them. There we go, get into range, and air landing are going to be taken out. They're going to surrender, job done. SOS troop here going to be helping clear up some of these rifles as the rifles approach the tree line. The STOS troop doing a fantastic job of pinning down and forcing those guys to surrender, alongside the SPW 204s that I had. Managed to pick off all of those units very easily. DB-73 going to be coming in, spoiling the fun, and blowing up this MG42 once and for all. And well, look at this. Massive amount of land gained in the centre, massive amount of land gained on the left side. Hindsight does surrender after his DB goes down. Not much he can do now. Hindsight with his 2nd Infantry was actually facing me in the centre here with his 2nd Infantry. It looks like I managed to dispose of him. On this left side, the French deck still fighting to the death, but definitely always going to be hard in Phase C to fight back as the French. And over on the right side, well, I see this group of infantry. And what do you need for a group of infantry? Ju-88 with 2 big old bombs, and well, that's 1 strike down. Pathfinders get hit very hard. That didn't quite do the job though. Got my ME-109 actually here to try and take out this Tempest, whilst I bring in a 2nd Ju-88. And if we go to the neutral perspective, we can have a look at how much damage this one does. This is why you don't group infantry, ladies and gentlemen, since 2 more bombs aren't going to land directly on target, and that's all 4 infantry squads dead. Lovely jubbly. This Mosquito Pathfinder trying to get onto the back of my Ju-88 there, but I still have this ME-109 in play. And the Mosquito is going to try and retreat, but my ME-109 is going to be able to finish that off. We jump back to my perspective. You see that, well, Marduk, he's just got critical mass now. I'm going to just push towards all of this even using the Nebelwerfer there to stun the remaining units, and then he could literally just charge with attack move to the right and just blow the crap out of all of these M4A3 Shermans, the M10s and so on, with no contest at all. My SPW 204s have found the howitzer there. More Air Force going to be coming in. But we're now running a 65% lead. This territory in the centre being held by one grenadier. Typhoon AT tried to kill the Jagdpanther, but as you can see, as these guys actually retreat over the AA field, Typhoon AT going to go down alongside the Mosquito. So Marduk picking up an absolute ton of kills throughout this game. March also bringing in Ju-88 there to bomb out some of the remaining infantry and take back the land on the right. Mosquito bit going to be coming in with the bombs onto the Flak 88s, and these Flak 88s run out of ammunition now. I still haven't fixed this munitions truck. Completely my bad. I think I've finally noticed that my AA isn't firing, and finally decided to do something about it. So there we go. Both of my munitions trucks finally coming up. Bit of a sleepy move on my part. Bomb going to be coming in there and actually blowing up my Jagdpanther. DB-73 doing the work, but again flies over the AA field and goodbye to the DB. So because the Jagdpanther does only have 5 rear and side armor, can be blown up by bombs like that, but after 40 minutes we do reach a victory by conquest points, and great job by Marduk on the left flank pushing so far through. Look how many kills he got. 4,647 kills to 670 losses. Just that continual steamroll with the Nebelwerfer support and his Stugs and the AA. Just absolutely fabulous. Really, really well done to Marduk in this game. Myself, I got 3,827 kills to 1,845. It didn't feel like I got that many kills, but definitely worked out that way in the end, especially after killing those M10s and a lot of the US infantry in the mid-game. And then Helmarch on the right side had a bit of a hard time. 1,607 kills to 2,435 losses. So there you go. Pretty awesome game in my opinion. I loved watching the steamroll of Marduk on the left side. Really, really was a joy to watch, and just playing around with all the artillery in this game was actually really fun. I don't actually use artillery too often, but the SK-18 is really coming in handy. You can see they did actually get a kill onto the M1 gun and the Ranger 30 cal there. This MG squad picking off a mortar and an M1 gun. Flak 88 getting the 2 Sherman kills, that was really nice. Befehlpanzer 3 helping with the breakthrough on the left before it was forced to surrender. Did take out a Stuart and a half-track, which was okay. Focke-Wulf 190 is going to be shooting down plenty of lightnings during the game. And this Flak 88 again killing Tech Truck CS, took out a Challenger, took out an M10. More lightning kills for an ME-109. More M10 kills for the pack. This DOS troop killing 3 rifles, really, really nice. IG-18 killing a couple rifle squads, and Ju-88 that got the 4 kills there towards the end of the game. Really, really nice. I actually ended up killing units from all the decks throughout the game, which was really fun. Playing on like pretty much all 3 fronts. Obviously Marduk though, really taking care of the left side. But either way, that's all for now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this game. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.